everybody's been asking, I dropped 9 pounds the first week. I dropped 5 pounds the second week, so that's 14 pounds in 2 weeks. Prior to this, I have to be honest, I might have a airborne or a keto in the morning, but I wasn't even doing a good job of taking my multivitamin. There's my confession. Then I met with Dr. Cilip, and he had these different recommendations for supplementation. Talked about a few different diets. The only diet that works is the one that you'll stick to. So it works with people on different levels of diets. Because I like keto, he was willing to work with me on keto. It's sometimes too strict for other people, so he works with people as well on, is it the zone diet? And
the standard that we recommend used to be referred to as the zone diet, but it's the concept of balancing your macronutrients, your protein, carbohydrates, and fat evenly.
Okay, so the zone diet. We're doing the keto. We're doing this supplementation right here. So I know creatine. Let's talk about this one real quick. Creatine, it helps your muscles to retain water, recover. What's the main benefits of creatine for both? And it's for both men and women, regardless, right?
It is. And the supplement plan that you're doing and what we're going to be undertaking with folks in what we call the recovery program, the idea is to be able to get metabolic numbers like you did. Yes, dieting and weight loss shocks your metabolism, but it recovers. And you're proof positive. Your metabolism dropped a little bit, and now it's back up to above its initial baseline.
Yeah.
So the creatine works to make the muscles retain water, but also it can help build muscle. It's not a magic pill that way, but it can help build muscle, but by helping the muscle retain its proteins and retain the water, it lets it recover quicker.
What would you say to women? I've heard this many times over the more than 20 years now of fitness training. They say, yeah, but I don't want to get big and bulky. I hear women say that, and I like to let them know that they're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and be Arnold Schwarzenegger, But if they were worried, you just said that this could even help build muscle, and of course it's going to help the muscles to retain water. What would you say to women that are worried about, putting on muscle or how that is a benefit to them?
Well, if you want to get stronger, the muscle's going to be bigger. There's really no two ways about that. But if your goal is size, then you're going to use your measurement is not the scale. Your measurement is the tape measure. And if the arms are building too fast, you change your workout regimen. This is not going to allow somebody to bulk up. You're going to bulk up because you do heavy resistance training. That's how you bulk up.
Very good. So then, of course, the top thing to take after a workout is whey protein. This is the one that we have at Journey. It's a very clean form of whey, but you recommend how many grams after a workout?
You want probably around 30 grams, so anywhere between 28 and 35. The mid-teens, the 16-gram replacement's not quite enough. Okay. And your goal per day, again, 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body weight is your minimum goal.
Okay, so we should say that again. So that's 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body weight. Okay. Lean body weight, very important too, because sometimes when we talk to people about drinking water according to their body size or eating protein according to their body size, they think, if you're 50 or 100 pounds overweight, you think of having to consume a lot more water or a lot more protein, but this is lean body weight that we're talking about. Very important. My thyroid turned out to be low. So I went and got a thyroid supplement based on your recommendations and included a few important things like iodine and tyrosine. And, this was not the one that you would normally have here, so I would definitely want to get your recommendation on what you typically recommend for brand supplements for everybody, because brand is very important. But just want to talk about how those, what were the 3 key thyroid supports?
Yeah, those are the key ingredients. A thyroid molecule from your thyroid gland is made of tyrosine, surrounded initially by 4 iodines, and then using a catalytic process that involves the selenium, one of the iodines is cut off to make T3. T3 is the active hormone that gets into the cells to do the work. So the supplement should contain those 3 items. And a good rule of thumb is to use a supplement that you can have validated by a professional. You go to the pharmacy, ask the pharmacist. If you go to a health food store, ask somebody that is reliable. These can be purchased here. They can be purchased on the internet. But if you find a pharmacy that sells them, just talk with the pharmacist, because many times they've gotten a tremendous amount of feedback from folks as to what's tolerable, what's not, what works, what doesn't. And they can tell you that, yeah, I have 3 brands sitting out there. This is the best. And it's not always the highest priced.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. Get that outside perspective. That's very important, and get it from a professional, because truth is, the FDA is not regulating supplements, so we gotta find trusted brands that actually have what they say they're going to have in them. Then CLA, you were talking to me about how when you're trying to do some fat loss, this can actually help cut the fat. Is that right?
The CLA does. It's this has been used for years and years by the bodybuilding crowd, and the bodybuilders are the athletes that are the best dieters. It's many bodybuilders will tell you it's 90% diet and 10% gym, and I don't think it's exactly that ratio, but the CLA definitely can help you cut fat. It does not make it so that if you eat lots of fat that it's not assimilated, but when you're trying to burn the fat preferentially, the CLA can be helpful.
So the CLA could help you boost the amount of fat that you're burning.
Correct.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. And then a fish oil, EPA right here.
Yeah, EPA and DHA are the supplements or the components of a good fish oil that function as an anti-inflammatory. And that can work in many different parts of your body. We have a recommendation that we often give women for aging skin issues. One of the companies that makes supplements used to market this trio as Botox in a bottle. But it consists of the fish oil, which is an anti-inflammatory, along with an antioxidant vitamin that contains vitamins A, C, and E, and then a supplement called Gotu Kola, which is an herbal medicine that helps tighten up the collagen. The EPA is predominantly for inflammation. And as we've talked before, the only way your body can respond to anything really is through the inflammatory process. So when you're breaking down muscles, inflammation is going to follow. And if you can reduce the inflammation, there's going to be less breakdown. Very important part of the recovery program.
Right. So that would actually speed up the recovery process if we reduce the inflammation.
Correct. And taking aspirin or ibuprofen to reduce inflammation, not effective in terms of helping protect the muscle from further damage. It stops the pain, but it blocks the formation of prostaglandins, which are an important part of the healing.
I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't have you elaborate a little bit. They call that Botox in a bottle. This, I'm sure our women out there that are interested in all the fine lines and whatnot. What was the reason that they called it Botox in a bottle? Did it have those kind of skin effects? Or?
It actually does help tighten the skin, and a number of patients who I have had try that come in and say, I even feel like my joints are less lax. It's good for collagen.
That's good.
But it's a process. It's not something that you take for a few days and it makes things better. It's not like Excedrin for a headache. This is a process that you have to involve yourself in.
Be consistent with it.
Be consistent.
And then we found out that my vitamin D levels are low, which is probably not surprising for this area of the country that we live in. We're not hanging out in the Florida or California sunshine all the time. So I went and got the vitamin D3. It was interesting. I remember us messaging about it. I'm like, D3, is that the one that I want? Because sometimes people tell you that you're lacking vitamin D, and then if you've never been supplement shopping before, you're like, D3, what's going on here?
So vitamin D3 is what you want. That's the best assimilated. There are prescription forms of vitamin D3 with 10,000 or 50,000 units. It's asking your intestine a lot to absorb all that at once. And there's a little evidence mounting that the high-dose vitamin D once a week, although it may be absorbed well enough to get your levels up, may actually help create brittle bone. So the 5,000 units once a day is probably a better recommendation. And for many people who are extremely low, I have them take it twice a day for the first month, and then once a day, check the level at the end of 2 to 3 months.
So that's a lesson in how more is sometimes not better because there could be side effects.
Sometimes more is not better, and the absorption is potentially erratic. Some people absorb it so poorly that we make sure that they take it at the same time as the fish oil, because vitamin D is absorbed better in the presence of a fat.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. And I am taking it in the morning. I save the creatine till just the time of the workout, like you recommended, and of course the whey around that. But otherwise, I'm able to take all these supplements in the morning, and then it's the CLA, right? Which one would I take multiple times throughout the day?
multiple times throughout the day the fish oil.
The
Because,
fish oil.
taking the entire dose all at once is
Right.
sometimes more than your stomach wants to handle.
Okay, so taking the fish oil with a few meals throughout the day. Speaking of which, just a quick synopsis on the meals. Ultimately, we're looking for the 5 to 6 meals a day. Good protein source with each one.
Right, and the important things are that you eat fairly soon after you get up, that you do the protein replacement after the workout, that you balance your calories so that the approximate goal is 10 times your desired lean body weight, not trying to go above or below much more than perhaps 200 calories, 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, that you balance the macronutrients. Doing the keto program, you're going to balance yours a little differently than 1/3 each. Perfectly acceptable as long as you feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people, I'm finding out more and more that it's just different. Everybody's different, and that's where you doing the blood work that you did really allows you to get that inside view. And that's why I would encourage anybody to go and have that done. Because so often we wonder, you come to the scale, you feel like you're doing everything right, but you're wondering what else is going on. Just a couple weeks of supplementation, and now I just produced my best metabolic test yet. So getting things balanced out can really be helpful.
Mm-hmm. And you're, again, a perfect example. You started with a good metabolism, you lost some weight, it started to drop, you did the recovery program, it's now better than it was when you started, despite a 14-pound weight loss in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I was worried that it was going to keep going down and that I was going to keep battling, but now my metabolism is really on my side for the next 6 pounds that we want to lose.